Unseen and underestimated, women's baseball stood as a pioneering force that defied the odds and laid the groundwork for women's sports across America. As World War II unfolded, the onset of conflict led to numerous American baseball players enlisting in the military, leaving a once vibrant entertainment industry barren. As baseball was America's pastime, and with no men available to play, Philip K. Wrigley saw a void. To fill this void, Wrigley created the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. Wrigley's aim was to boost morale and promote patriotism by creating a league of female athletes that could entertain soldiers and give the American public a new team to support. While this was his vision, the journey was filled with hurdles, as resistance to women's baseball began immediately. The establishment of the league amid the societal hurdles placed on female athletes marked a turning point for women's sports in America, providing a platform for the widespread popularization of women's baseball and creating a catalyst for equality throughout women's sports. The league had a lasting impact on female athletes, continuing to shape the future of women's sports. Before World War II, societal norms confined women to traditional roles, such as housewives, and activities like women playing sports or working in factories were considered unconventional. Initially, the idea of women engaging in sports for public entertainment faced skepticism and was largely dismissed. However, women's softball began to gain traction, and slowly but surely drawing a significant number of fans. Observing this growing interest, Wrigley was inspired to create a professional women's softball league. Yet recognizing the need for a unique take on this league, Wrigley made a strategic pivot from softball to baseball early in the season, setting the stage for a new chapter in women's sports. The league's goals were simple: to encourage patriotism and keep baseball alive during wartime. On the contrary, the players' goals were far harder to achieve. Players were expected to captivate fans with their looks and actions, emphasizing entertainment over the competitive aspect of the game. The front management suggested that a haughty, overconfident female athlete was not what the American public wanted. Instead, players were reminded to always consider the fans as they were the paying customers, essentially meaning that the players belonged to the fans. Nevertheless, the league had to draw fans' attention. To do this, they had a simple advertising strategy that was consistent across varying locations. The three main points were promotion, reception, and acceptance of both the players' femininity and their ability to play. The strategy hinged on initially selling the idea that the players were the All-American Girl, and later highlighting the players' athletic abilities. The ultimate objective was to establish women as legitimate ball players. The league's ambition to recognize women for their athletic abilities rather than merely their appearance marked a turning point in women's sports. A turning point in history is a significant event or decision that dramatically alters the direction of historical development. These moments mark the transition between different eras and often lead to a profound change in society, politics, and culture. The league's impact serves as an example of a turning point in women's athletics and societal gender norms. Following their marketing strategy, the AAGPBL promoted their players' femininity in hopes of having players recognized as athletes. Players were sent to charm school, where they were taught how to display the proper etiquette, poise, and appearance of a modern woman who exemplified femininity. Drawing from their charm school education, the AAGPBL players captivated a diverse fan base. Children idolized them as role models, while male fans frequently admired them, some developing a keen interest in specific players and following their games. Women, too, found great enjoyment in the baseball games, considering them a premier form of entertainment at the time. Initially, the fans were primarily drawn by the entertainment value, but gradually, their exceptional athletic skills of the players gained rightful recognition and admiration. Players' athletic recognition was seen through newspaper articles, wins against male teams, and most drastically, through their pay. Players in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League earned more than most male minor league players, earning anything between $55 to $150 per week, more than double what women were averaging. As recognition grew, so did the league. In 3 years, the team count increased from 4 to 8, originally only drawing 176,000 fans in their 1943 season. The league's popularity boosted ticket sales to almost 1 million by 1948. The sales were booming, and thus positive reports came with them. Reporters began comparing them to the popularity of men's baseball. From 1943 to 1948, the league thrived as a premier form of entertainment. But following the Allies' victory in World War II, many male athletes were able to return to playing baseball at the same or even higher level of play as before. The return of these male athletes left the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League behind, as society returned to primarily viewing male professional baseball games. Americans began to focus on the role of women in the household. The strong, socially independent, and financially self-sufficient women of the AAGPBL were soon out of step with the societal role models of the 1950s. The league aligned perfectly with Wrigley's intentions. He saw the players and their games as a temporary fix during the war years. Wrigley aimed to maintain the heartbeat of baseball while its usual players were away at war, and the league succeeded in fulfilling this purpose. Following its conclusion, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League gradually faded from public memory. The athletes who once played transitioned to new careers, often in teaching, nursing, or administrative roles, quietly stepping away from their baseball past. This wasn't due to embarrassment, but rather a collective decision to embrace the next chapter of their lives. They understood that the league's creation was a response to a specific historical moment, meant to fill a gap during difficult times. It was the unveiling of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball exhibit at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, in 1988 that reignited public interest in the league. Nestled among the memorabilia of icons like Babe Ruth, the exhibit captured the imagination of visitors. The renewed attention paved way for the 1992 film A League of Their Own, starring Madonna and Tom Hanks. The movie not only entertained a global audience, but also played a crucial role in repositioning the league within the historical narrative. It underscored the league's significance as a landmark in the evolution of sports and the role of women within it, highlighting its impact beyond being a mere placeholder in baseball history to becoming a symbol of societal progress. Commonly, turning points are perceived as specific moments in time that marked a definitive change. However, not all turning points are immediately recognizable. The All-American Girls Professional Baseball League exemplifies a gradual turning point, one whose impact was not fully appreciated until decades later. It subtly established the groundwork for the emergence of women's sports leagues and teams, shaping the landscape of modern-day athletics well into the 21st century. While it was indeed a turning point, its significance was not acknowledged during its time. While the AAGPBL's influence wasn't immediately recognized during its active years, it significantly contributed to setting the stage for women in sports. As the first women's professional sports team to gain notable recognition, it played a crucial role in establishing a foundation for Title IX and a variety of women's sports teams and leagues that have ascended to professional status, including the National Women's Soccer League and the National Women's Hockey League. Female athletes today still encounter significant hurdles. Despite the league's pioneering efforts in breaking down gender stereotypes in sports, modern-day female athletes grapple with diminished visibility. Societal norms still frequently promote the notion that male athletes possess superior talent and skill. This ongoing disparity underscores the need for continued advocacy and progress in achieving true equality within the realm of sport. The All-American Girls Professional Baseball League was a significant turning point in the history of American women's sports. This league served as a catalyst for critical developments in the realm of women's sports. Its legacy is not confined to the past. It continues to inspire and shape the future of women's sports, allowing for further advancement and changes in the years to come.